I'm your host, Cito Beltran, thanking you for joining us once again. Today, September 6, 2023. It's a Wednesday. Yes, a Wednesday. And I do hope that you are all feeling well, the family is okay, and that you have a day to look forward to. From the looks of it, the sun is trying its best to come out over the horizon, and we are hopeful that it's going to be a sunny day today because we all need a break. It's been difficult going through a 2 week stretch of gray days, gray and rainy days. Anyway, today we will be having two guests, and one will be talking to us about the economic impact of inflation. And we're not going to go on a nosebleed discussion. We are going to try to make sense of what Filipinos should prepare themselves for, because and whether you like it or not, or whether you can afford it or not, the fact is food inflation has doubled from July to or July to August, or yes, July to August, and there's a lot of complaints that I've been hearing from people. And mind you, these are not poor people; these are middle class, upper class Filipinos who are saying that when they go to grocery supermarkets, a lot of the shelves are sparse, empty, because people just don't have the money or are just cutting back on their expenses. So we'll discuss that with our expert, who is a returning veteran to the program, and he always gives us good tips. But more than anything, it's good to understand the economics of inflation, and especially those of you whose lives are going to be affected, those who are in the mobility, commuter, transport business. Medyo pahirapan po. Diesel went up again yesterday, so it's going to be a problem. Okay, Gab, we're getting feedback from one of the monitors, not on our side, but maybe check with one of our guests. But anyway, after that, we will also be speaking to another returning resource person, and that one will be about housing, about the organization CREBA, the real estate group, and builders group, that's celebrating their 50th anniversary after 50 years in the running. How has life changed in the Philippines in the field of real estate and building? Okay, but before that, allow me to thank our Cignal TV subscribers. Maraming salamat po muli. Thank you for being faithful, loyal subscribers of Cignal TV. And of course, we hope that you would invite friends and share your viewing experience with friends, family, so we can expand our group to more Filipinos. And thank you to PLDT for their home fiber optic internet. And let's now go to our daily starter, which comes from Mother Teresa, or Teresa, depending on how you want to pronounce it. I am not sure exactly what heaven will be like, but I know that when we die and it comes time for God to judge us, He will not ask, how many good things have you done in life? Rather, He will ask, how much love did you put into what you did? From Mother Teresa of Calcutta, the saint. And I just want to add to that. This morning during my reflections on the book of Deuteronomy, I came across a verse where the Lord pointed out, it's not enough that you do your work, or that you worship me, or that you work for me. What matters is that you do it with joy, with thanksgiving, with appreciation. So it's not enough that you deliver. Parang bawal yung silent quitting. It's not enough that, hey, I submitted my work, I hit my quota. What matters is did you really do it with passion, with love, with appreciation that you have a job? Okay, so let's pray that we can all be like that. In the meantime, let's go to the front page of the Philippine Star, September 6, 2023. And the headline is Food Prices Drive Up Philippine Monthly Inflation. And that will be one of our topics for discussion later. And the country's inflation rate picked up pace in August, snapping a 6-month downtrend, due largely to increases in the prices of food such as rice, vegetables, as well as transport costs, according to the Philippine Statistics Authority. At the top of the front page, the header goes, CHED, Chief Defense Free College Education Program. Okay, the head of the Commission on Higher Education, Chairman Prospero de Vera III, defended free college tuition program of the agency, saying it is not a waste of state funding as it has helped some of the poorest families send their children to universities and finish their studies. That reaction is in light of the suggestion, if not request, of the Secretary of Finance, Ben Diokno, that those who should be given free education should undergo a filtering system or a screening system like the UPCAT, UP admission exam. So according to Prospero de Vera, ay talo na. Kasi mangyayari, yun na namang mayaman, yun na namang mga may angat sa buhay ang makakakuha ng free scholarship. Okay, in fact, there are already questions on how fair is the UPCAT really, and now we have that suggestion. I don't think people are going to accept that filter requirement. Meanwhile, Manila Court issues e-warrant for Teves arrest. Okay, a court in the city of Manila has issued an electronic warrant, which in turn will be sent by the Department of Justice to the United Nations to call upon member nations to fulfill their commitment obligation for the repatriation or send back of criminals who have a warrant of arrest. On the other side of the upper part, ining, okay? Ining to intensify into a storm. According to Pag-asa, Tropical Depression Ineng is forecast to strengthen into a tropical storm before it leaves the Philippine area of responsibility tonight or tomorrow morning. But the good news is it is not expected to make landfall and is not expected to be have a serious impact on our weather. Kumbaga, basa pa rin tayo pero hindi na binabagyo. In the meantime, the top photo, big photo of the Philippine Star, is the hands across each other. Okay, the hand-to-hand photo of the ASEAN leaders featuring our very own President Bongbong Marcos next to Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong of Singapore, Thailand, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Permanent Secretary Sarun Charoensuwan, and the rest of the ASEAN leaders who participated in the ASEAN Summit that is ongoing in Jakarta, Indonesia. In a related article, Widodo, who is president of Indonesia and the principal host for this year, declared steer ASEAN toward peace and stability. The Indonesian president pointed out that ASEAN and its members is like a big boat, and we all need to sail towards one destination, which is progress, and to look out for everyone's concern. Okay, so still a photo on the center part of the Philippine Star. None other than Interior Secretary Benhar Abalos, Quezon City Mayor Joy Belmonte, Metro Manila Council President, and San Juan City Mayor Francis Zamora, and DTI officials are currently doing the rounds, okay, of markets to make sure that the presidential order requiring that rice be priced at 51 pesos or maximum of, I believe, 54 pesos is imposed. The rice price ceiling underwent thorough study. That's the headline from the Department of Agriculture, because there are reactions from some sectors that it was an overnight decision that did not take into consideration sellers, vendors, who are now suffering from the sudden price change. We will see what we will see. A photo in the bottom left of the Philippine Star. Come home to harmony. Okada Manila top executives launching their promotion, and that is ongoing right now. Meanwhile, DOH to stop administering monovalent COVID jabs. Inuubos na lang daw po. According to the report, the Philippines will soon stop administering monovalent COVID vaccine once stocks are fully consumed, okay? Because there is now a plan to go with the bivalent, the one that is manufactured by Pfizer. And I've had my shot. Don't ask me how. I did not pull strings. I just qualified because, you know, there is a good side to being a senior with comorbidity. We get it ahead, okay? But the bivalent vaccine is good, is safe, and effective. I've been going around, and so far, thank God, we have been protected. Meanwhile, last but not the least, the recent Female Peace Builder awardee of the 2023 Ramon Magsaysay awardees, none other than Miriam Coronel Ferrer, has mentioned in an interview that the path to peace is long and winding. Parang long and winding road. Sino ba yun? Beatles ba yun? And often dominated by men. However, Ferrer has been fortunate to be recognized for her commitment. Well done, Miriam Coronel Ferrer. We will now go for a quick break, and when we return, we will talk about paano na, kuya, how are we going to deal with this inflation, and what is the forecast of our expert from the banking industry here on Agenda?
5.3%. That's the country's headline inflation tallied in August, the first spike in 7 months. This figure falls within Bangko Sentral's 4.8 to 5.6% forecast, but is higher than the 4.9% median estimate of analysts in a Business World poll. National statistician Dennis Mapa said the uptrend was mainly due to the higher year-on-year increase in food and non-alcoholic beverages. He added that the faster inflation rate was also driven by higher transport costs, which is also linked to the rising prices of gasoline and diesel. Diesel prices are now up by 1 peso and 20 centavos a liter this week. Gasoline is also pricier by 50 centavos a liter, and kerosene by 1 peso and 10 centavos a liter. With this in mind, talks on returning to a work-from-home setup, as well as a 4-day workweek scheme, is being brought up once more. But will these setups help the country from an economic standpoint? Let's discuss that further on today's agenda.
Michael Ricafort is the chief economist of the Rizal Commercial Banking Corporation, or RCBC. He has been with said bank since 2006. Ricafort also holds a Master of Business Administration degree, which he obtained at the Ateneo Graduate School of Business.
Okay, good morning, Michael. Welcome back to the program, and please take the lead of being our lecturer for the morning.
Good morning, Mr. Cito, and nice to be back, and good morning to all our viewers.
Okay, thank you for joining us. And, yesterday while we were talking about all our subject for today, I did mention that I agreed with the idea that, hey, I think it's time we should go back to, work from home, that the business sector should really study about reducing mobility or transport, because it's just so unaffordable. And I would like you to explain this whole thing. I know it's difficult, but can you explain? Because every time the fuel prices go up, the answer is, oh, we will give ayuda. And now the jeepney drivers or other transport operators are saying, fuel subsidies are great, but they're not, covering it anymore. Some people are suggesting we need, we need to add grocery, etc. So someone is paying for the difference, and it's often the taxpayer or government. How do you work this out? How do you, make ends meet, Michael?
Well, yeah, inflation is now, there are new threats actually. We thought na medyo nag-stabilize na, although, number one is rice, kasi yung inakit ng rice, yung based on commercial prices, at least 20 to 25%. No? So, dagdag burden yan sa mga tao, no? When it comes, lalo na sa lahat, no? Lalo na yung masa, no? Even the poorest of the poor. So, ano rin, ang ambag kasi ng rice is 10% of the inflation basket. So kung umakyat ng mga 20%, may ganun ang risk, no? Yung madadagdagan yung inflation somewhere between 1 to 2 percentage point. Pero siyempre, realistically speaking, yung monitoring, yung ginagamit na data, siyempre, yung ginagamit ng masa, yung medyo mura. No? Kumbaga, whatever is available in Kadiwa, kung 38 man yun, no? Yung feedback nga, medyo just a few, 1 to 2 hours, nauubos na yun yung 38 pesos kung may supply, no? Kaya medyo tempered yung pag-akyat. Pero syempre, realistically, yung budgets of the ordinary Filipinos, they would already feel the pinch, the more expensive rice prices. Halimbawa, yung dating 2,000 per kaban. O naging 2,500 or 2,600, no? At tapos yung una, no, yung sa bigas, no. Pangalawa, yung petroleum. Kasi yung tumataas na naman yung langis. Just a few hours ago, nag-announce sa Saudi Arabia, pati Russia, the biggest oil producers in the world, no, among the biggest, i-extend nila yung output cut nila by 3 months to December. So, sinagad na, dapat hanggang this month na lang yun, September. Kaya umakit yung presyo ng langis na naman sa world market, no. Nasa $86 to $87 yung NYMEX benchmark. So, pinakamataas na yan. That's already the highest since November. Kaya, 9 weeks na yung sunod-sunod na price hikes ng ano 'no, ng local fuel pump prices, gasolina, diesel,
Yes.
kerosene. Kaya ano, yun may banta na naman yung pagtaas ng presyo ng mga bilihin kasi at least yun yung tapos yung mga nagdaang bagyo pa. Kasi na-timingan pa, nagtaasan yung presyo ng gulay kasi mahigit isang buwan na yan since the latter part of July, tinamaan ni Egay, yung the biggest producers ng bigas, ng corn, ng mga gulay, ano yun, North and South Luzon, lalo na yung Region 2, no? Kasi
Mhm.
Region 2 yan ang pinakamalakas mag-produce ng malaking producer ng palay, ng bigas, tsaka ng corn. Tapos siyempre yung galing sa ano, Cordillera, sa Northern Luzon, yung mga gulay. Kaya yung inflation tuloy, well, yun, may pagka-seasonal, yung storm damage, na-extend pa yan itong ano lang, for the past 2 weeks, no? So,
Yes.
baka mapanatili pa yun, no? O until mag-stabilize na naman yung supplies, magka-planting uli, tapos magkaroon na naman ng additional supply. Then, yung isa pang factor, siyempre yung minimum wage hikes. Nag-start na sa Metro Manila effective July 16. So that's 7%, that's 40 pesos to 610 pesos. Aasahan natin na the other regions would follow. Parang yung last year, na-approve yun ng Regional Wage Board eh. So,
Mhm.
merong ano yan, kumbaga may epekto na siyempre hangga't maaari ipapasa yan, no, yung pagtaas ng minimum wage in terms of higher prices of other goods and services and other products produced by the various businesses and industry. So may pass-on effect. Kung kaya ipasa, ipapasa. No? Nakita natin yan since last year. No? Meron pang isa, yung exchange rate. No?
Mhm.
Yung peso exchange rate, sa loob lang ng mahigit isang buwan, nag-low po yan ng 54.30 noong July 17. And po yung kasagsagan ng tuition payments. No?
Mhm.
Peso appreciated, pero ngayon kasi importation season pa rin po. Importation season meaning nagpe-prepare yung industries, mga maraming negosyo, they're importing raw materials and other
Mhm.
inputs. So, pinambabayad nila dollar. Why are they doing this? Kasi they're ramping up production also, manufacturing, in preparation for the seasonal peak, maybe the highest sales in a given year for the fourth quarter or during the Christmas season.
Is that a good idea, Michael? Because from what I've been hearing and feeling out there, people are pulling back. People are now worried about spending money. Businessmen, I was in a meeting last night, and there was an unspoken nod. Businessmen were nodding in agreement that it's a bad time to invest. They have to cut back. What are you observing, or what is the logical response to all of this?
Actually, tama po yun, Mr. Cito. That's a rational response. No? Kasi ano rin yan policy-wise, consistent yon, no? Dahil nagtaas ng interest rates since last year. Noon tumaas yung inflation dahil sa Russia-Ukraine war. Nagtaas yung US by a total of 5.25 percentage points from zero. Zero yan no March. Dahil ng pandemic, bring down to zero. So, nag-emerge yung inflation dahil sa Russia-Ukraine war, tumaas yung oil, ibang commodities, at tumaas na rin yung nagkaroon na ng second round inflation effects. So, pati yung buong mundo, like ang central bank din natin, nagtaas ng interest rates by 4.25 percentage points. Yung benchmark na record low na 2%. Uli natin nakita yon May of last year. No? Pandemic low yon para stimulate economies. Nag-emerge yung inflation. Ang trabaho ng central bank, syempre, is to curb inflation. Kasi mandate nila yun, sa mandato nila yun, price stability or stable prices to ensure sustainable economic growth. Kaya they would do everything at in their power to bring down inflation. Kasi bakit? Hindi siya go ahead po.
Yeah. Pero the last time I heard when Ben Jokno was still, I think, with the BSP, I think I'm not very clear about. Alam mo na, memory natin medyo mahina ng konti. But I remember Ben Jokno at one point saying, Teka, we can only do so much sa central bank, sa finance. We can only do so much in fighting inflation. We need for the local governments to step in. We need for private sector to step in para magtulungan tayo to fight inflation. So, I mean, just by that statement, one gets the impression the Department of Finance, Central Bank, kumbaga sagad na sila. I don't think they can do any more to fight inflation. What instruments can they still come up with, and how effective would it be? Because parang, I don't know, Michael, parang may mga nagsasabi, tanggapin nyo na, may problema na kayong malala.
May punto po yun, Mr. Cito, kasi yung interest differential natin between the Philippines and the US, numipis na. 0.75 na lang po yung diferensya. That's a record low, no? In recent memory. Kumbaga yung US interest rate, key interest rate ng US Central Bank, ng Federal Reserve is now at 5.25%, na galing zero last year. Yung Pilipinas po, yung BSP, 6.25. So 0.75 na lang. We have never seen this kind of narrow differential. Meaning, nasagad na po talaga nila. Hanggat maaari, hindi na sila nagtataas yung local central bank natin. Kung kaya, kasi bakit ba't sila napilitan magtagtaas din? Kasi syempre, it favors the dollar pagka yung interest differential. Pero sa ngayon, sige, maaring nakaambag din yon. Bakit yung dollar, although importation season po talaga, naging 54 to ngayon nasa 56.80 kahapon, so may 2 piso yung inakyat. Dahil kasi parang konti na lang yung diferensya, yung mga investor kung mamimili sila. So kung malalagay yung pera ko sa dollar at 4.5% na interest rate, or sa peso at 6.25. So, gano'n na kanipis. Tama po yun. Ay po yung unang punto na naging reality po, syempre, tumaas yung interest rates. Yung mga negosyante, ramdam niya, kaya yung investments po humina. No? Kitang-kita yan, even with the GDP data, nag-slow down. Yung second quarter natin, 4.3%. No? Bigla pong humina. Kasi, syempre, yung pagtaas ng presyo ng bilihin, mababawasan talaga yung spending ng mga tao, ng mga negosyo, pati ng gobyerno. Kaya yun po yung reality, nagka-cutback po yung, at saka yun talaga yung mitiin policy-wise, even in the US, to slow things down, to slow down demand, inaas yung interest rates, naging mahal humiram, no? Mga tao, mga negosyo, naging mahal humiram. Kaya nagka-cutback sila sa investment.
Pero hindi ba yung pagtitipid or pag-iingat? Okay, so we cut back. That comes with the price to pay. It affects our GDP, it affects our productivity levels, etc. And then does it at the end of the year further makes things even worse?
Yeah, yun po yung unintended consequence. In fact, binring up din po yan ng just a few months ago, yung US lawmaker si Elizabeth Warren, in-question niya si Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. Sinabi niya, the US Central Bank has been raising rates. So, mawawalan ng trabaho yung ibang tao kasi hihina yung ekonomiya, may risk of recession. No? So, sa sagot ni Fed Chair Powell, that's the unintended consequence. So, yun po talaga yung realidad na ang sakripisyo, kahit humina po yung ekonomiya to the point na magkaroon ng risk of recession, gagawin po nila para lang nila mapanatili na mababa yung presyo ng bilihin. Kung nagtatrabaho lang po yung mga central bank sa buong mundo sa pagtaas ng interest rates. Kasi, bakit? Pag hindi nila tuminando, hindi nila nirenda yan, ang inflation, based on past experience, no, like in the late 70s and early 80s, yung huling beses, pag hindi nirenda yan, aakit yan ng aakit, it would spiral out of control. Pupunta yan ng 10%. Noong time na yun, noong late 70s, Iranian Revolution, may langis involved. 1979. Tapos early 80s, yung nag-ensue yung Iran-Iraq war, that's a proxy war. Siyempre, ang alay pa nun, si Saddam Hussein, di ba, between US and Iran. So yung oil, nag-spike yung oil, tumaas din yung geopolitical risk na yun, tumaas yung inflation, more than 10%, lalo nahirapan yung mga central banks. No? Kaya lahat na lang, above 10% ang inflation, above 10% yung interest rates, pati bond yields. Kaya US na po yun, paano pa yung buong mundo, di mas mataas pa, lalong mas mataas. Kaya nangyari po noon, nahirapan yung mga tao, yung mga negosyo, marami pong hindi nakabayad ng utang. Kaya yun po yung ngayon po, parang they're trying to nip the problem at the bud. Pero yung realidad po ng inflation, masalimuot po yun kasi tama po yung sinabi nyo kanina, no? Pagdating po sa yung, halimbawa ngayon sa bigas, yun, may proposal po ngayon, may 35% import tariff So, meron pang natitirang mga solusyon na pwedeng measures na intervention measures. Bukod doon sa price ceiling po, effective yesterday. So, tingnan natin kung mag-stabilize siya. Kumbaga, may pag-asa pa naman na kung nag-stabilize yung rice prices, yung oil medyo manageable naman, no? Umakyat pero hindi naman sobrang bilis. Yung rate of inflation, may pag-asa pa naman dahil high base or high denominator effect pa rin po compared to a year ago kasi nag-peak po yung inflation natin.
So,
8
so Michael, sorry for interrupting. Pero are you saying na ang solution natin dito pira-piraso, kumbaga targeted solutions. Kumbaga, okay, ang pinakamalaking sakit ng ulo, our biggest headache is rice. Let's address the rice first. And then, okay, the next problem is the fuel. Let's give subsidy, let's give groceries, let's do this. But all of that requires money. The government has been borrowing and borrowing, I believe to the tune of 5 trillion pesos na ba yung utang natin or actually more? Actually 12 na yata. Magkano na ba? Ikaw yung banker, hindi naman ako eh.
Nag-record tayo na po, Mr. Cito. 14.1 trillion yung utang. Actually, yung 6 trillion, galing po yan noon 2016 pa po yun.
Aray ko.
So, mahigit doble na. Kasi yung pandemya pa lang, Mr. Cito, kada taon ng pandemya, 2020, 2021, lalo na yung may mga lockdown, 2 trillion po yung hinihiram ng gobyerno. Ano po yun, that's more than 4 times. Ang usual na hinihiram lang ng gobyerno per year bago mag-pandemic, pag in-average natin, mga 500 billion per year. Tapos last year, mga nasa around 1.6 trillion yung inutang. No?
Okay.
Noong 2022. Kaya medyo malaki pa rin po. Tama po. Kasi yung mga subsidiya, doon din po kinukuha yun eh. Dahil last year, naging problema na po natin yan. Di ba yung kasagsagan ng Russia-Ukraine war? Simula na at the start, no? Nagbigay po talaga ng mga subsidies. Tatawag po dyan non-monetary measures. Tama po yun.
Di ba babalik tayo doon sa solusyon ng lolo at lola mo? Mamuluktot at magkasya sa maliit na kumot. If you don't have enough, then you make do with what you have. You just cut back, you spend less, you eat less, you live less. I mean, would your associates in the banking industry kill you if you said yes to that?
Well, yun po talaga yung kasi net importing country. Pagdating sa langis, no? Lalo na, net importer tayo ng langis, tsaka net importing country pa rin po tayo. That's age-tested na po yan, yung mga ganyan solusyon, no? Conservation, di ba, sa energy. Actually, yung buong mundo natututo na. Binawasan na yung reliance sa oil. Nagpunta na tayo kahit ang Pilipinas, marami pong renewables for the past 20 to 30 years.
Yes.
No? Hindi na tayo umasa masyado sa importation na langis. Nag-diversify na tayo sa geothermal, di ba? Tapos sa hydro. Ngayon, dumadami na po yung solar dahil mura na po yung technology. In fact, sa European Union, mas malaki na yung production ng solar power kaysa sa coal-fired power plants. No? Dahil ayaw din nila umasa masyado sa Russia,
Okay.
Diba? Pati ayaw, kasi kasi yung mga gobyerno, mga kumpanya, zero carbon footprint. So yung po, conservation, yung talagang pagbawas ng expenditure, yung pagkonsumo rather ng mga langis, ng enerhiya, tsaka yung ngayon, gagamit na ng alternative sources, yung mga mas renewable.
What about, Michael, yung sinasuggest ko? Actually, I'm the one who's promoting this idea that we should go back to work from home and start developing 4-day school, 4-day work week, etc. Because ginagawa, may school na gumagawa na yan. I believe it's Xavier, where they programmed all of the easy subjects for a Friday and it's done at home. Parang sinabi nila, wag na yung papasukin yung mga bata. We're just creating traffic, wasting productive hours. So they've adopted that. I think it's Xavier. Okay, so what about that suggestion? Last 2 minutes with you, Michael.
I think that's already the new normal. Kailangan mag-adapt na yung mundo doon. Lalo na ngayon with the need to conserve dahil sobrang congested na, at least for the past 2 weeks. No? Ramdam natin yan dahil nagbalik na sa eskwelahan yung mga bata, mapa-private or government schools. So, I think ngayon, kailangan open-minded na rin yung mga negosyo, mga industriya. Hindi lang dito sa Pilipinas, pati sa buong mundo. Kasi lalo na ngayon
Okay.
may inflation, gumagamit din na langis. It's one way to conserve energy, electricity and oil. Kasi karamihan ng mga sasakyan, oil-based pa rin naman, di ba? Yung mga
Yes,
petroleum-based. Wala
that's
pa
so
naman
true.
wala pang
Go go ahead, go
yeah,
ahead.
wala pa masyadong electric din. Although papunta din tayo doon, dadami eventually yung electric vehicles. So,
Ele-
ay,
Electric, kailangan mo pa rin ng power generation. Ganun din yun.
opo, hybrid. At least kukunin, syempre, mas intelligent na kukunin sa renewable power sources.
Okay. Well,
Tapos, kaya yun po, it's really, kasi una, mahal na yung, una, tanong, kailangan ba lahat yung tao na nasa daan? Walang masakyan, ang traffic,
exactly.
mapapagastos pa, mapapataksi yan, Grab na napakamahal or yung mga motorsiklo, di ba? Yung mga angkas, di ba?
Yeah.
Yung mga, so, kung kaya naman gawin yung halimbawa, work remotely or work from home, tapos yung using technology. So,
Yeah.
tanong doon, kailangan ba lahat ng tao ay nandun sa daan at magsiksikan? Dahil congested,
Okay.
ayun na yung limitasyon ng ating kapasidad ng ating infrastruktura ng mga kalye. So,
Oh,
ayun po yung open mind, well, that's very important kasi makakaambag pa rin po yun sa conservation, no? Lalo na
okay.
in dealing with yung mataas sa presyo ng transport cost, di ba? Yung
Yeah.
mataas sa presyo ng
Well,
pamasahe.
Michael, I'm sorry, I'll have to cut you there because we've run out of time. But thank you for confirming what I've always observed, been afraid of, and mabuti na yung nagsasabi ng totoo kesa nanlilin lang ng kapwa. And thank you for being very forthright, for being informative as our lecturer today. God bless you, Michael, and we do hope to have you again on the show very soon. With this inflation running away from us, we're going to need a team to chase after it. Thank you, Michael Ricafort.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cito, and to your viewers. God bless po.
Okay, God bless. That's Michael Ricafort, Chief Economist of the RCBC Bank. And ayun, siya na ang nagsabi sa inyo, it is time to have an open mind regarding how to adapt to this situation. Sadly, ladies and gentlemen, it's not new. I've lived through something like this in the 70s, and the solutions were the same. You reach a point where you don't have too many options and you simply have to live within your means. We'll be right back after this quick break.
several issues continue to hound the country's housing and real estate sector. For one, the Chamber of Real Estate and Builders Associations, or CREBA, said that government must address the 6.5 million housing backlogs by 2028. They also underscored that government must provide land and financing to support the private sector's housing initiatives. This, of course, goes in line with the group's long-term vision of, quote, a home for every Filipino. CREBA is set to tackle all these issues head-on in their upcoming National Convention and Housing Expo as part of their 50th anniversary activities. Let's find out more about this on today's agenda.
Techie Bautista currently serves as the Vice President for Academic Affairs of the Chamber of Real Estate and Builders Associations, or CREBA. Bautista is also the President of Getterson Realty and Development Corporation. She is credited with initiating the Executive Diploma Program in Real Estate Management, the first in the history of real estate in the Philippines.
Okay, welcome back to the program, Techie, and congratulations to your organization, CREBA. You will be celebrating your 50th anniversary this month, correct?
Yes. Good morning, Cito, and good morning to your audience.
Okay, well, my first question, top of mind is, after 50 years, how far have we gone? What is the situation for real estate and builders and housing in the Philippines?
Yeah. Well, through the 50 years of CREBA, we have been advocating for 5 things. No, we call this the advocacies of CREBA. These are considered to be the pillars, the foundation where we should build homes and real estate development. Without these elements, hindi tayo pwede magkabahay. No, there are 5 of them. Number 1 is land. Kailangan may lupa para makapagtayo. Kailangan natin ng pera para makatayo. Kailangan natin ng materials and material subsidies. Kailangan nakahanda ang local government at gobyerno para makapagsuporta sa initiatives ng construction and building of homes. At ikalima, dapat isa lang na efficient government agency ang kausap. Hindi nakakalat na kanya-kanyang policies, procedures, and all that. So within 50 years, for the past 50 years, yan ang talagang pinaglalaban ng CREBA. Out of 5, isa na yung naipasa. No? We were at the forefront of the passage of the DSUD, the department putting together all agencies on housing and real estate development. Magandang pagbabago kasi ngayon isa na lang ang nagpapatakbo, nag-unify na sila, nag-standardize sila ng mga procedures on housing. Pero kailangan pa din na ipasa natin talaga, very crucial pa yung 4 na elemento: lupa, financing, supplies, and the preparedness of the local government to support this program.
Okay, now I understand that this year is special to CREBA, and that when you do your anniversary program, there will be events and special. I think you're even going to have like some sort of an expo or something for housing.
Yes, this is going to be very exciting kasi Golden Jubilee ng CREBA, 50 years old na kami. And we will celebrate this on September 26 to 28 with an expo at the SMX, and then a national convention at the SMX and Conrad Hotel. So we're very busy putting all these things together. Now talking about the expo. Ang theme ng expo is that it is a marketplace. Meaning to say, pumunta ka doon, parang palengke, marami kang mapagpipilian, marami kang makikitang kailangan mong bilhin. And then, it is supposed to be a one-stop shop. So we are putting all the elements together. Kailangan mo ng pautang, no? There is Pag-ibig and other banks. Merong mga developers, over 100 development projects will be exhibited nationwide. Maraming Metro Manila, pero meron din kaming Cebu, Davao, Bacolod, and all that outside of Metro Manila. So ang dahil mapagpipilian. And then may mga lectures din kami na meron kaming forum, focus group. Meron kami isang discussion just focusing on the OFWs and the seafarers. Meron din kaming focus discussions addressing government employees. So aside from mga kung sino-sino, meron kami talagang inimbita na talagang focus, just attending to the needs and the concerns of specific sectors of society.
When you say focus group discussion for OFW, for government employees, for private individuals, are these lectures on how to get your own house, how to buy your own house, or is this a lecture on how to get financing? Paano ba yung mga discussions na yun?
Oo. Ang procedure na gagawin natin ganito 'no, ang tanong, isang tanong, it's a marketplace, so nandiyan marami kang pagpipilian. Ang tanong ngayon, papaano ba ako magkakabahay 'no?
Mm.
Papaano? Sasagutin namin 'yan through those, forums that we're putting together. So kung gusto mo magtanong ng modern technology about housing, mga housing designs, mga ganyan, meron kaming forum on that. Meron din kaming forum on financing 'no. So kung gusto mong ano, saan ka ba apply ng loan at papaano, nandun sila. And then, nag-ano kami, instruction namin dun sa mga exhibitors, sana maglagay kayo talaga ng computer laptop nyo ano, on site para kung talagang may nagtatanong at hindi siya marunong, turuan nyo. Doon na kayo magtanong and then gamitin nyo na yung computer nyo para pag-uwi, alam na nila paano bubuksan, paano mag-access. Hindi yung salita lang tayo ng salita. Gusto namin interactive and experiential. So,
Mhm.
pagpunta nila doon, paano ba yan? Dito kayo papasok, dito ho ang gagawin nyo, gano'n. And the lecturers are experts, no less than Vic Veloso, the president of
Oh, yeah.
GSIS.
Yeah, Vic
Yeah,
Veloso is a friend, and
yeah,
he
she,
did a great job. He's doing a great job at GSIS, and
yeah.
he has the heart of a mentor.
Yes. And then siya yung mismong magha-handle ng forum for government employees, no? And then we
Mhm.
have invited groups like BSP, Senate, and then Philippine Navy. Inimbita namin sila kasi yung mga yan, hindi talaga nila naiintindihan eh. So pagkakataon na nila, makinig sila talaga kay President Vic Veloso of GSIS para direkta maintindihan nila yon. And then magdadala naman si Mr. Veloso ng mga tao niya, natuturuan silang pumindot-pindot ng computer para
Mhm.
online magamit nila yung app for housing loans.
Siguro
So,
it would also,
yeah.
I don't know, I'm sure you guys have discovered, but are you going to put this, are you going to live stream it, or are you going to put it on YouTube? Because marami tayong mga Philippine Navy, Philippine Army, marami tayong mga government workers who are out in the field, and I'm sure they would love to watch those presentations on their phone or tablets. Meron ba kayong gagawin yan na live streaming or YouTube?
Hindi siguro live kasi medyo public yung SMX, pero we will do that. No? Mag-upload kami ng mga videos namin after the events. So,
Mhm.
but we will make that available to everybody. So, ang importante nga sa amin, tuturuan namin kayo magkabahay.
Okay, now as far as the designated government agency for housing is concerned, who will be participating? Kasi meron kang, pasensya ka na, lumalabas yung edad ko dito. For the longest time, ang alam ko, National Housing Authority dyan sa may UP. No? But now you have DSU, the Department of Housing Urban Development, and then you have the NHA. Sino ang magiging present dyan sa event na yan?
Doon sa expo, inimbita namin ang DSUD 'no, on housing. So magkakaroon specifically ang assigned topic sa DSUD is the 4P program. Pabahay para sa pamilyang Pilipino. The 4P
Mhm.
program, the flagship program of President Bongbong Marcos. I-explain nila 'yon. Paano ka ba makakapag-access? And ang general rule on that is ang 4P program is implemented through the local governments. So we're inviting 2 local governments to talk on how they are working on the 4P programs in their locality, no?
Mhm.
So papakita natin 'yon, and hopefully magkakaroon na naman tayo ng computer interaction. So, 'yun ang ano natin, and then ang pag-ibig of course is on top of the line when it comes to housing financing, no? Meron tayong isang ang pag-ibig will be part of the forum for the OFW. Meron kasing pag-ibig OFW program. So
Mhm.
ite-take up nila 'yan for that specific target market. And then,
But
meron tayong on titles, maraming problema sa titulo. Paano ba nalalaman kung tama, kumpleto at magagamit? So meron
mhm.
tayong ang Land Registration Authority, LRA, will talk about titling, verification, and what other concerns you might have. And then meron din tayong international marketing, no? Kasi meron kaming affiliate na that focuses on international marketing. Meron din tayong yung LaSalle program, no, for those who would like to enroll at LaSalle and get the credit and get a diploma from LaSalle, no. So
For
nandiyan
what?
'yan.
What's a LaSalle program?
Ang CREBA, well, 21 years ago ako din 'yun. Nag-initiate kami ng partnership with LaSalle on the diploma program on real estate management. Ito 'yun
Mhm.
sa mga practitioners, postgraduate na siya. So graduate ka na, practicing ka na, professional ka na. And then, kailangan natin mag-update at mag-upgrade ng
Mhm.
skills and knowledge. So more than 20 years ago, we thought of coming up with a diploma program on real estate management, and ang partner namin, LaSalle, College of St. Benil. It is a very successful program, at nagulat kami nung pandemic. Grabe ang aming enrollment, no? Lalo pa siyang naging at meron na kaming mga students coming from Taiwan kasi blended eh. Merong physical,
Mhm.
merong So may mga foreign students na nagjo-join sa amin. Yeah,
Okay.
so
Now,
yeah.
d- is there also going to be a segment that will be addressing yung mga issues? Because, here on Agenda, we do promote the pursuit of having your own house, your own abode. And may laging issue yan yung, should I rent? Up to when should I rent? And then when is the right time to buy? Should I buy an apartment, a studio, a townhouse, or a condo? And then yung mga issues on homeowners association, because that I'm sure you realize that, Techie, that maraming homeowners association actually political units na within villages and have become controversial. Is the CREBA addressing this growing problem?
Oh yes, oo. Yang yan na we call that after turnover issues, no?
Mhm.
Kasi bago diyan, concern lang natin yung mga pagbili at paglipat. After na lumipat tayo is the homeowners association. Marami ding issue diyan kasi yung mga common areas, yung mga roads and maintenance and utilities, no? So
Mhm.
tinitake up din yan, especially yung program sa LaSalle. Isa sa module namin is real estate management. So ang natin, ti-take up natin yung mga concerns na ganyan.
Okay, what about from the legislative side? Are you inviting any of our lawmakers? Because as you know, my wife and I have exposure to the Dutch system in the Netherlands, and doon talagang highly legislated ang housing. Hindi ka pwedeng basta-basta gumawa ng bahay or ng condo. There are requirements for human quality of life. There are provisions for student housing, etc. Meron bang part sa forums nyo yung pending legislation or suggested legislation?
Yes. Ang aming Jubilee celebration comes in two major parts. One is the expo, yung marketplace, paano ka magkakabahay. The second portion is the National Convention of CREBA. Yung
Mhm.
National Convention is tackling legislative issues. No? So we have
Mm.
congressmen and senators attending that. And ang topic nila, aside from the present concern, 50 years and beyond. So they're talking about futuristic issues like yung mga infrastructure, connectivity, and all that. Doon itatackle yon sa National Convention. Highly legislative yon, and policy level. So yun naman ang second part ng aming celebration this year. And they will also be learning a lot, no, because we have best practices. And then itong time na to in September 28 at the Conrad Hotel,
Yeah.
CREBA will be awarding the top developers of the decade. So 10 years kami, hindi kami every year na nagbibigay ng award, no, ng plaque.
Mhm.
Very ano sa amin yan, valuable, and we really give it so much importance that we only do it once every 10 years.
Okay.
So magkakaroon kami yan.
Okay, so Techie, once again, when is the public event? When is the part that is open to the public? And where?
Yeah. Yes. The expo will be on September 26 to 28 at the SMX, no, Mall of Asia. It's a marketplace. Ang team niyan, tuturuan namin kayong magkabahay, no?
Okay.
And then on the 27 and 28, also at SMX second floor, is the National Convention of CREBA, wherein it will tackle legislative agenda and look into the future. So 50 years and beyond. Yun ang team nila doon.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Techie, and I do hope that all goes well for CREBA on this 50th anniversary, and may your organization have 50 more years of very important contributions to the dreams of every Filipino to have housing. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you also for the invitation, Cito. Good luck.
Okay, and that's our resource person and the Vice President for Academic Affairs of the CREBA, none other than Techie Bautista. Let's go to our, before we go to our blessing for the week, may I just remind everyone, please clean your surroundings, especially for mosquitoes, kasi marami na naman pong nagkakadengue. I have family members and friends in different places in Pasig, in Quezon Province, etc. na nagkakadengue. Let's all just clean up and be careful, protect the children especially. And kamusta sa mga tiga-Alitagtag, Batangas, yung matandang SK na si Doc Carlo Ilagan at ang kanyang amang si Ka Hector. Good morning to you. Okay, let's go to our blessing for the morning. And it comes from the 23rd Psalm, chapter 23 of the book of Psalms. Okay, Verse 3, He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for His name's sake. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a declaration. You declare it, you say it, you believe it, and it happens. And I know that the Lord will bless all of you, guide you towards the right path. Please include Team Agenda in your prayers, and please keep it here on One News. God bless all of you.